I teach Algebra 2, and with that comes all the ups and downs of working with a variety of students. And sometimes my students show their brilliance, and I wanted to share that with you. On a recent test, they had a problem similar to this. It was find the vertex of y equals x squared minus 6x plus 10. Now, that probably wasn't the problem, and there were different versions of the test, but you're going to get the idea. This is what I intended when I wrote that question and gave it to my students on a quiz. I intended for them to use the formula for the axis of symmetry, which is x is equal to the opposite of b over 2a, to recognize the opposite of -6 is 6 over 2 times 1 and get 3. That would give them the x coordinate of the vertex or the axis of symmetry. And then take that 3 and plug it into the equation in place of x. So they'd have 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 10. Evaluate that and eventually arrive at y equals 1. So the coordinates of the vertex would be x is 3, y is 1, and so the vertex is 3, 1. Now, that's not a difficult way to do it, but I had a student completely blank out on the formula, did not remember what the vertex formula was. And so many students, when they blank out, just quit. They leave it blank. They scroll something down that they know isn't right, and then they move on. But this student did this instead. They actually drew algebra tiles out on their test in the form of completing the square. And so they had x minus 3 all squared plus 1 left over. They wrote the equation in vertex form and then recalled this piece of knowledge, that you know your horizontal and vertical shifts of the vertex from that form. So they knew that this parabola went to the right 3 and up 1. Therefore, the vertex had to be 3, 1. I did give that student full credit because the method was sound, the reasoning was solid, and they didn't give up just because they didn't remember the way that the problem was intended to be done. And I hope that that encourages you. If you're a student, don't give up. You do know stuff. Try the problem a different way. And if you're a teacher, that it will open you up to seeing the different ways your students might arrive at the answer to a problem, even if it's not the way that you originally intended.